Good evening, wonderful viewers from wherever you're watching us from. It's always good to be back. This is the National Social Protection Hour, courtesy of the National Social Protection Secretariat. And of course, tonight's topic is going to focus on the NaFA program, cash transfer. I have two gentlemen here and of course a lady in the studio with me, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. But first, I am starting with a lady. You know, for me, I am a fan of ladies. I have Janke Jawara here, Senior Program Officer at NaNA, and of course, I have on my far right, I have Malang Jao, who is the Communications Officer at the National Social Protection Secretariat, and of course, I have Usman Dem, who is the Senior Program Manager at NaNA. Good evening, ladies. Lady and gentlemen.
Good evening.
So I will start with Malang. Talk to us. Of course, the topic of the discussion is about the NaFA program on cash transfer. But first of all, talk to us about the National Social Protection Secretariat. What is it all about? When was it set up? And what's the aims and objectives?
Thank you so much, Julde. Good evening to you all. It is good to be back here again. We were having this program before, and it's a continuation. The National Social Protection Secretariat was established in late 2019 due to the dictates of the National Social Protection Policy. The policy was established, formulated since 2016, and then it was realized by government and her partners that social protection in the Gambia is uncoordinated and fragmented, thereby leading to ineffectiveness of social protection interventions. As a result of that, the policy resolved to creating a coordinating body. That is how the National Social Protection Secretariat came into being, as a coordinating body for all social protection interventions in the country. And it is the implementing arm of the National Social Protection Steering Committee. That is a big committee that is comprising of all ministries, departments, the private sector, NGOs. They are all represented. That is where they take decisions on social protection, and then the Secretariat will implement those decisions. Now, the Secretariat, due to our mandate, we are also supposed to coordinate and also communicate informations relevant to social protection, so that there will be visibility, and then there will be a widespread understanding and knowledge of social protection programs. That is why we host this program, so that different social protection programs can come here and explain what they do to the people, so that they will understand. Like, for example, today we have the NaFA team here. They are going to talk to the viewers, the public about what NaFA is, what they do, and then how do beneficiaries get these benefits and stuff like that. So it is not going to stop at NaFA alone. We will also have other programs coming here, sitting with us here, and then talk to the people about what programs they do, and then how their beneficiaries are chosen and how they implement those programs.
So when you talk about social protection, what are you protecting and who are you protecting? Does it mean that, like, if an armed robber comes into your house, you're going to protect them? What are you talking about when it comes to, as far as protection is concerned?
Yeah, here we are looking at protecting the poor and most vulnerable. It has been realized that poverty is affecting the poor and most vulnerable most. So therefore, these people also have the right to be protected. And it is a core mandate of government to protect each and every citizen. So therefore, these people cannot also be left behind. So that is why social protection is there to support them, to also have a decent living in different forms. The vulnerable groups are many. The poor are also there. So all these people need to be supported. And that is what social protection is about.
Oh, absolutely. That's explanatory there. So at this point, we will engage Janke Jawara. Janke, talk to us about the NaFA program and what are the aims and objectives of the NaFA program.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having us today. Well, basically, like he's mentioned, the NaFA program is actually a cash transfer. But you know, NaFA, when we talk about NaFA, it's in the local language. So just to give you a backstop is that the NaFA cash transfer is the second component of the social protection project. So this NaFA program is basically targeted towards vulnerable and the vulnerable people. When we talk about vulnerable people, we're actually looking at women and children that are under 5, because in most cases in the Gambia, if you look at the most vulnerable are always women and children under 5. So basically the NaFA program is here to elevate poverty amongst the extreme, extreme poverty group. So basically the simple overview of the NaFA project is that we're looking at the poorest districts, and these districts are 20 districts in the Gambia. So basically these districts, how do we get these districts is through the integrated household survey of 2015 and 2016. So basically this is through poverty head counting. So basically in these districts we targeted all communities and all households that are all households that are under these communities. But obviously, not all households under these communities are eligible for the NaFA program. So basically, we will simply just explain that this is done through a proxy test. Maybe sometimes people will not understand what this proxy test, but it's just a formula that generates the eligibility households. So basically, a simple explanation, the NaFA program, it's we're delivering cash transfers to at a tune of $3,000, but usually it was supposed to be $1,000 every month. But because of resource constraints, we decided to go bi-monthly, where we give $3,000 to households, and also part of that is also we deliver social and behavioral change communication activities to these households as well.
So how is it done? Like, of course, you know that it's through a survey, and of course 20 communities are going to benefit. And who are these communities?
20 districts.
20 districts, yes. Rather. And how do you come to the point that, okay, these are the districts that are most vulnerable, and these are the districts that are not most vulnerable? And of course, we know the poverty level of this country is quite high, especially in the rural areas. So how do you come about that? To know, okay, this group A or person A is supposed to benefit, and person B is not supposed to benefit, and they are all in the same community.
Exactly. So like I made mention, this proximate test, when it is done, we generate like indicators. So these indicators, they provide like, they are correlated to poverty. So when I say indicators, it's like using certain variables, because a survey was already conducted. And this survey that was conducted, we also work with GBOS, the Gambia Bureau of Statistics. So they went into these communities and they conducted the survey. So based on these variables or the questions that are asked, that is how this is generated. So these results are actually inputted into a system, into the social registry, because there's already a social registry. So once it's imported into the social registry, then you can actually sieve out who are the most vulnerable household within these communities that are within the districts that are already selected.
Interesting. So Usman Dem, you're the program officer. Of course, we know this NaFA program, it's really beneficial, especially to people in the rural area. So talk to us about the coverage. Of course, she did mention that it's monthly, and the cash amount is $3,000 per household. So talk to us about the coverage. You know, how do you do that?
Thank you very much, and good evening, viewers. As my colleagues rightly mentioned, this is a government-initiated program that is supported by the World Bank, and it is being implemented by 3 government institutions. That is the National Nutrition Agency, the Department of Community Development, and the Directorate of Social Welfare. And she has mentioned the nitty-gritties behind it. And the objective, we all know, is to improve household welfare of the extremely poor households within these 20 poorest districts in the Gambia. She did mention to you that these districts are found in the West Coast region, the Fonyis. Likewise, the Lower River region, the Kiangs. In North Bank is only Sabah Sanjal as a district. And then in the CRR, you have the Nyanijas, the Lower, the Upper Salums, and then the Nyamina. And then in Upper River region, you have the Woolly East, Woolly West, and Kantora. When you look at these 20 districts, they are the poorest, as she rightly mentioned. But moving to the coverage, will tell you that this program initially targeted 15,606 households. Here we are not targeting individuals, but we are targeting households. And these households is a combination of people, call it husband, wife, children, and any other family members, because you know we live in extended families. So the coverage, as I told you, the target was 15,606. But as we speak, we are at 16,966, almost 17,000. The reason for this is, she told you, indicators were generated. And then they run a statistical software that will help. For example, of the indicators, what is your income generation? How much do you earn per annum, per year? What type of, do you do agriculture? Do you receive support from family members? Do you have remittances? Do you receive support from government or any other support? What type of house do you live? Do you own animals? Do you own farming inputs, and etc.? If, example, the yes are more than the no, is a proxy. We assume that you are richer than the person who has more no's. And with that, you know, we have a target. But at the end of the day, we have a benchmark, or call it a cutoff mark. I think we are familiar with WIAG results and say, this is the cutoff point. If you meet it, you have passed. In these two, we have a cutoff point. And if any of the households is within that, then you are eligible, as he rightly mentioned. But you are not a beneficiary. You are a potential beneficiary until or unless a validation process is done. That is, once the PMT is run, the proxy mean test, and the list is generated, it is taken back to the communities through a process called validation, where the community people are invited, the structures there, like the Village Development Committee and the alcalos and etc. This list is sealed in an envelope and handed to them. They will open it, they will read aloud the names, and then we leave the list with them for a duration of 2 weeks, and for them to validate it, to accept that yes, Malang is among the poorest in our community. Or no, Fatyange is not poor, so therefore she cannot be among the list. But that is another process it will follow. Even if that happens, you cannot say we want to remove this one and add this one. No. You can only recommend, and then this recommendation is a process. If you don't want to do it at that gathering, we have an open line called 1214, which you can call. Because you know, sometimes at community level, it is difficult for me to stand and say, this one is not poor. Especially if that one is helping me. He may cut all the support that he's been giving.
That is what I'm about to say. Like, we see many cases, instances where like communities at the community level, they help one another.
Exactly.
So to you, that person is not poor because the person is giving you, rendering you support.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is a case. And once this validation is done, they will stamp this and send it back to our office. And our office will now take this as the list of beneficiaries. You know, initially I say potential beneficiaries. And this list goes through a process called enrollment. In another word, registration, where we developed ID cards or beneficiary cards through a process that we use, a management information system. It's an electronic capture where your biodata is taken and is generated. But each household is going to identify 2 persons that are going to be the recipient of the money. One is called the principal, and the second is called the alternate, which means procurator. If the principal cannot come, the alternator will come and receive the money, as he mentioned. Every 2 months, we give out the money, the cash transfer. So this process, we don't just say pick X or Y, but we recommend that the household that is validated identify women to be the principal recipient. People may ask, why women? Because studies have revealed that if women receive the money, greater amount of the money goes back to immediate household need. And remember, we are trying to improve household welfare. But if it goes to the men, I'm sorry to say, the study has revealed that most of the money may not come back to immediate household needs. We may go out and buy attire. In the provinces, we can go to the Lumo and enjoy the money. Some will smoke cigarette and etc. So this is why we recommend, and it is a recommendation from the project as an indicator that it is preferred that 75% of the beneficiaries are women, like recipient. we always qualify this.
Okay.
When we ask them, send the women to receive the money,
Okay.
we are not telling them women own the money, but they are receiving on behalf of the household.
Okay.
I think I will stop there for
Yes,
now.
exactly.
Yes.
So at this point, I will engage Malang. At the social protection level, how do you come to the conclusion that maybe this is the best method or strategy to use in poverty elevation?
Okay, thank you, Yulde. Before that, I want to just qualify the process of them getting the data, the information, to say this one is poor and this one is non-poor. But before I enter into that, I want to just tell the viewers that today or tomorrow, but I think tomorrow, Jibos will be in the combos, the 4 combo districts, to collect this data. And this is the data that we feed into our system. We call the social registry. This social registry it comprises of the information, economic, social, and education, health. We call it bio data. This information is what we feed into the social registry. Now, after it is collected, now we have a system like they mentioned. We run it. Now, in that system, it will categorize the households into poor, extreme poor, and non-poor. So now, if NAFA need information, they want to go and give cash transfer. They just apply to the secretariat to say, okay, we want to give support, financial support, to extreme poor household, like they did. Now, we will generate that information. We give them extreme poor households in the areas that they ask for. So currently we have 36 districts in our registry. We are expecting to increase the coverage to the next 4 districts, that is the 4 combos, Combo East, Combo Central, Combo North, and Combo South. Now, after that is done, then we will have the entire combo. And we are also planning to increase to KM and Banyu, because poverty, yes, everybody says it is deep-rooted in the rural areas. But yes, we also have urban poverty, which is also very serious, and it is in fact increasing at a very rapid rate. So therefore, the urban people also need to be captured in the registry. So we are moving on to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is a concern there, because in the urban areas, we see people living in nice houses and all that. So what is the criteria that you use for poverty? Does it mean that, like, if a person feeds on only 1 meal, you call that person poor, or what is the criteria? Or see a very nice house and you say, okay, this person is rich. We see that those cases happening.
Yeah, okay. The
What
house
is the criteria?
Just, yeah, house is just one indicator in the questionnaire. Where you live, what is your education level, what work do you do, what is your health, how much do you earn, how much do you spend a day. You know, you have a host of questions, and these questions are divided into sections. So it is not only going to be restricted to the house. Or the food you eat. No, it is far more than that. So we ask for people to give the enumerators time, because at the end of the day, if your name is not captured in the system, now if you should give a program information to go and give support, then it is likely that you are going to be missed. So we are appealing to the general public to at least welcome the enumerators from GBOS. We don't do the data collection because GBOS have the comparative advantage. They have the knowledge. So we assign them to do that data collection for us. Then after that, they will give us the information which we will process. Yeah.
So the question, going back to the question, how do you come to the conclusion that this is the best way, to alleviate the poverty of Gambians?
Okay. Now, like initially I said, the National Social Protection Secretariat is a coordinating body. We don't implement programs. If Janky is poor and wants support, if she should come to the Secretariat, it's a wrong place. Maybe she should try NaNA or DSW, that is Department of Social Welfare, or other programs that are giving support. What we do is to support programs that are implementing. Now, how do we determine who is poor and who is not poor? That is the data collection. Now, how do we say we are going to help alleviate poverty? Is a host of discussion at GBOS, at the program level, at NSPS, at the National Social Protection Steering Committee. That is where these discussions are done. Now, how do we determine that? is going to be a topic of its own.
Right.
Probably next time when we come, we can talk about that.
Jawara.
Yes.
So at this point, talk to us about the duration of the program, and of course, what are the mode of transfer? You know, is it through bank accounts? Because we know that that is very, very rare in rural Gambia and all that. What is the mode of transfer?
Okay. So basically, the duration, like I made mention before, it was supposed to be 18 months. But since it is done bi-monthly, it is conducted in 9 months, meaning every 2 months, the beneficiary will receive 3,000. And since we're intervening in different districts, for example, I'll give you for West Coast region, which is the Fonyi region, we're actually using our Q money to transfer the cash transfer. And then it's actually different PSP. So Q money is one of the PSP. We're also using UNA as well. They are part of the PSP. And then we're also using the credit union, just to mention a few. So basically, if you don't mind me as well, I've answered the question, but I'll also like to reiterate what he made mention, because you keep asking like, what is how do we know that this type of cash transfer is what is the right cash transfer to be used?
Yeah.
So basically, when you look at cash transfer, they are either conditional or unconditional cash transfer. So if you look at this cash transfer, it's unconditional cash transfer, meaning that, for example, we're just trying to elevate poverty. We're not putting any conditions on them, because in conditional cash transfer, you actually say that you must do something for you to receive this.
Return,
So it's different. But if we look at this project as well, it started in the wake of COVID-19, and then through research we have seen that, or through surveys we have seen that poverty has elevated then. And this poverty elevation, because it had happened through COVID, we're also trying to elevate poverty from these extreme poor households. We're not saying that this cash transfer will totally elevate them all the way up, but we want to see them from one level to the next level. And this is quite important, that we're not only giving cash transfer, but we're also doing what is called social and behavioral change communication.
Yeah,
we'll
come to that.
We'll come to that.
Yes, we will come to that. But first, let's exhaust the issue of cash transfer and the mode of operandi. So, Mr. Dem, talk to us about the accompanying package of the NaFA program. Do you have any?
Yes, thank you for that. As he rightly mentioned, the NaFA is called NaFA program, but it has 2 sub-components. One is the cash transfer, and the other component is the social and behavioral change communication. We believe, and studies has revealed, that money alone cannot elevate people, cannot also fight poverty. So people need to be educated for behavioral change. This is why, at the onset of the project, communication materials were developed on 6 thematic areas, very key thematic areas. And one is maternal and child health nutrition, and we have adolescents and family planning, early childhood development, entrepreneurship and financial literacy, prevention of gender-based violence, and then parenting, positive and inclusive parenting. If you look at all these 6 modules, is the cycle that human beings have to undergo. We are not just giving you money and say, eat the money. But no, we are also educating you on how to use this money. Save some, eat some. Because you were consuming something. You were earning something before the NaFA program, before the intervention. So you don't rely only on the NaFA program. Because if that happens, we are not doing any good. Because come end of NaFA program, you will retreat. You will even go backwards in terms of poverty gap or poverty level. This is why this SBCC we call social and behavioral change communication is very intensive and is diversified. If you look at it, it's not just on one module. And this is why we are co-implementing with other partners. We have a comparative advantage when it comes to maternal and child health nutrition. But we have institutions that work with the prevention of gender-based violence. The Department of Directorate of Social Welfare. We have those that handle entrepreneurship and financial literacy. That is the Department of Community Development. And so far, this accompanying package has proven to be very positive. Today, you go to most of the community. I'm not sure if I'm preempting your questions, but we have seen remarkable improvement as a result of this social and behavioral change communication. We have developed both audio and visuals. We have also trained people at national level. We have trained people at regional level. We have trained some community structures that we use to engage their respective communities. And this engagement, they use the communication tools that we have developed. I know if you listen to radios or watch the TVs, you will hear our jingles, see our audio visuals all the time being broadcasted at peak periods. And this is all geared towards enhancing the behavioral change communication. You cannot fight poverty if people are not knowledgeable around it. They are not educated. For you to fight poverty, educate the people first.
So how often is this done? Because you mentioned key thematic areas which are not just, you know, community or district level issues, but they are national issues, like gender-based violence, like entrepreneurship, like maternal and family planning, and all these thematic areas. They are really key. How often do you engage the communities on this?
Thank you very much. Right now, we have contracts with almost all the media outlets in the Gambia. And we conduct both radio and TV panel discussions with them. This is an example of it. We also have another contract with the TV and radio panel for radio and TV and radio panel discussion, and with all the community radios in the Gambia. So this, we don't do it alone. We send people representatives. This is why we train national, regional, and community. They go to the radios, they discuss with them. I also told you that we have trained community structures who go to their respective communities and engage them. And they are supervised by what we call a multidisciplinary facilitation team members, MDFTs, at ward level. Those people are also supervised, they are regional people. We also supervise the regional people. Every 3 months, we go to the field to do what we call coaching and mentoring, to observe what they do and to help them do it better. Also, every cash transfer day, we also do the on-site social and behavioral change communication. This is to remind them and also clear any doubts that they have around the information that they have received. We have even supported them with radios so that they can have radio listening groups. When we are having the programs, they can tune in and listen, and they can phone in and clarify their doubts. So this is very regular and is being intensified continuously.
Okay. So on the side of the entrepreneurship issue, does it mean that, okay, maybe 3,000 per month and then 2 months, and then that 3,000, maybe you will say, okay, this percentage you will use it for business or something else. What does it really mean?
So basically, like he's made mention, these are tailored SBCC for behavioral change. So basically, we just teach them on entrepreneurship and financial literacy, so that they're not, so they're just disciplined with money, and also they can invest. But we don't tell them that you should take certain amount of this money and then spend it on or go on business or whatever. But we tell them that we educate them on business in case for those that want to go on business. Because it's not only about doing business, but also some people can engage in backyard gardening. Some people can engage in other types of business, or because backyard gardening basically is just to diversify your diet as well. That is also geared towards elevating the health and nutrition status of the family. So we don't impose on them, but we tell them, we just give them the knowledge, because knowledge is power. We know that once the money is finished, it's finished, but we know that knowledge stays forever. But we make sure that the knowledge is there so that they can use it, and also they can use part of that money and then go into business. And how do we know that this is actually working is that we also conduct, like, we collect human interest stories. So these human interest stories, we collect testimonials from them. You'll see like great stories from community level, from women that are doing business and the business is flourishing. And it's not only on the business side of things. Some people are, they have small ruminants, they have goats, they have sheep, they have dogs. They all go into this, tie and dye. All of these things are we are making sure that once the project is finished, they will not retreat back, but they will actually move they will move further up in life. So basically, this is what it is. We don't impose on them, but we give them the knowledge. Because we have the belief that if we give them the knowledge, they will utilize it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Malang, if you were to go back to the drawing board, what would you have done differently as far as this project is concerned?
Well, the project is almost gone.
Yeah.
Our office is a government office, and it is here to stay. What we are doing currently is to build systems. For example, the social registry is one of the systems that we are building, and it is going to support all programs in social protection, to have information, data on their potential beneficiaries.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. When COVID struck, government wanted to give support, food support. It took them time before they know how much money are they going to invest to help. Yeah, and it do not only stop there. They went back to the communities to get information, and that data that they came up with was not helpful at all. So, but the social registry today is able to provide data and information on all the population in the areas that it has covered. So that is one thing that is here to stay.
Okay.
Two, we are building a national M&E system that is going to monitor all social protection programs. Now, if the NAFA program under NaNA is implementing their cash transfer, we dispatch a team to go and see independently. They will observe and then write a report. They will share it with NaNA, and NaNA will see, okay, we have done very well here, but we have a shortcoming here. We need to improve. That is also another system that we are building, not only for the cash transfer, but for all social protection programs.
Okay.
And we are also going to mobilize resources from government and from outside to make sure that these programs are funded, especially the national programs, because government is the primary duty bearer. We are the ones that need to support the poor and most vulnerable in the country.
Absolutely.
So we have a host of systems that we may not be able to exhaust here, that we are building.
Okay, I know we don't have enough time. Probably we will want to go to the local language, but before then, I will ask you the same question. As far as this program is concerned, if you were asked to go back to the drawing board, what would you have done differently?
Thank you very much. I will just tell you that the feedbacks that we are receiving is helpful in going back to redesign our strategies.
Okay.
And we are receiving those feedbacks through community structures that we have established, and we call them community grievance redress mechanism committees. You can address any grievance, whether it's a question or whether it's when you are aggrieved, not happy with something, you can go there. If you don't want to go to them, you can go to ward level, you can go to regional level, or you can channel it to the national level. And national level, that is by calling 1214. I think I want to mention the challenges that will help us better redesign what we're doing.
Absolutely.
I think Janke mentioned to you that we are using 2 cash transfer methods.
Before you go to the challenges, how sure are we that every month or every 2 months these beneficiaries are actually receiving this money?
That will, the response I'm going to give right now, we will answer that. So you mentioned 2 methods. That is the e-money. The e-money, remember when the money is sent to your wallet, you have to go and redeem. And I told you we design a beneficiary card for them. You come with the card, you redeem, and they stamp. The payment service provider will stamp that they have paid you. And that is captured in the management information system that we have electronically, that this beneficiary household is paid at this payment point. If it is the direct cash delivery, any payment service provider that does that too will receive the beneficiary card from the beneficiary, and that will even indicate whether it's the principal or the procurator who receives the money. So there is very clear, it's evident that you have received the money and it's captured electronically. So the challenges that we are receiving can help us. Like example, when we talk about e-wallet, you know, Gambia, people change SIM cards very frequently.
Yeah.
So when you change SIM card, maybe they will block that and give it to somebody else. So we cannot send the money to that SIM card. So that's an issue. For example, direct cash delivery, we give them, it's compulsory that either the principal must come or the procurator, the alternate. So what happened to a household where either of them travels? You know, they cannot receive for that month, but they have an opportunity to receive it the subsequent one. But we are not encouraging Ususu, that is putting the money there because we want the money to go back to the households and they use it. And also, you know, Gambia, biodata is a problem. One thing I will want to change is first, we have to work on the social registry and update it very frequent. Because if we update it very frequent, today you were rich, tomorrow you can be poor. To me, I know that's costly, but we can put time to it. Today, this household were living in the Combo. Tomorrow, they have migrated to the provinces. Or let me use the other way, because most people migrate from rural to urban. And this is why we have an urban drift, and affecting urban poverty. So the data need to be revised frequently. Also, one thing I will revise is trying to see how much we can scale up. Because to be honest, it's difficult to say that, okay, this district is poor and this district is not poor. Because there are some outliers that can affect poverty.
Yeah.
It's a proxy. Today, let me give you the North Bank region as an example. Most of our programs, they will phone in and say, we are in North Bank, we are not part of the project. North Bank is part of the project, but only one district. And that district is the poorest district in North Bank. And it can be compared to the other 19 districts. So if I were to do the program again, we can look at poverty, but we can add other indicators to support those households that are not only poor, but have other aspects of vulnerability. Because vulnerability is not only poverty. But today, I can be a head of household with a larger number of household members. Single person taking care of a lot of people. Extended family systems. So let's try to see how we can also support them. The last one I want to say, if you want to add, is how can we extend this program beyond 18 months, beyond 3 years?
That is where I was going, the sustainability part. Because you cannot say that you are elevating poverty and it lasts for 18 months and from there perhaps they will go back to worse that from where they were. So that is another very key component that we should really, NAFA and of course the National Secretariat should also look at. Because sustainability is very, very important. Yeah, because I mean, my grandmother is used to receiving 3,000 every 3 months, and after 18 months, she doesn't see anything. What happens to her?
You're very right. When you interview them, she will tell you, this is the question they will ask us. Is it going to stop here? Is it going to end here? We are trying to see how we could turn it to a program. In most countries, social safety nets are programs, and they are not just project-driven. Project-driven have a lifespan, and they will end. But social safety net should be programmed, driven by the government, that will support every vulnerable individual within the country. Not only nationals, but even other nationals residing in the Gambia should also benefit from social safety nets.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Dem. So at this point, we will go to the local language so that our viewers can also know what exactly is happening, because this is a very important conversation that needs to get to everybody, regardless of who you are and how you know which local language you speak. So mbokk yi programme bi tay luñ nekk di waxtaane moo nekk ne you know is National Social Protection and kuko ñu ko nekk di andi fi moo nekk National Social Protection Secretariat. Tay nak luñ nekk di waxtaane moo nekk gaay sen NAFA cash transfer programme bi boo xam ne daal 18 months la from 18 months dafa last 18 months bi lii lan la ñu moo nekk génne jafe-jafe wàññi jafe-jafe si biir dëkk bi fii jàppale ñoo xam ne daal dañ néew doole. So nañ leen naka lañ leen nekk di jàppale moo na every 2 months dinañ leen jox $3,000 pour ñu mun a jàppale seen bopp. So tey dañoo just go to Malang, you will help us with the fuller version of it. Haldu yimɓe ɓe hande ko yimɓe jooɗani ɗo kadi halnu yimɓe ɓe National Protection Secretariat kadi ko hoɗum woni honde ɗum fuɗɗi kadi ko hoɗum waɗi ngarɗon.
Ok, jarama julde. National Social Protection Secretariat ko office mo ganduɗa laamu ɗum darni ɗum pour wallugol yimɓe ɓe ganduɗa ko ɓen woni juuɗe mumen keptani ɓaawo. So a wi yimɓe ɓe ganduɗa juuɗe mumen keptani ɓaawo walla yimɓe tampuɓe ɓe ganduɗa ti probléme heeɓima kamen ɓurta tampu ko hono ɓe darorante woodi kaytol bindanagol laamu to ngol funtini dame ɗe ganduɗa ko ɗen woni ɗe laamu foti daro. Gotal he mumen ɗum woni darnugol o office kam ko wonta liggey mum ko kam wonta gaynako office aji ɗi ganduɗa ko kamen gollata he wallugol yimɓe ɓe tiɓe tampi like hande en keeɓi ɗo the National Nutrition Agency NaNA kamen ko ɓe watta ɗum woni ɓe okkira cash transfer janggo na wawi keɓen ɗo programme goɗɗo te programme ji ɗina keewi. So ɗin programme ji ɗi foti nantodir ɗi haalda programme kala anda oyaɗa ko hoɗum watta hoto hen o woni. A yiyat si en waɗi noon tan enen wawi okkir ballal tana feewi te tana yaawi. Minen ko woni liggey amen hen ko ɗum woni wallugol ɗin programme ji hono liggey mumen o feewirta. Because so a wi gaynako ɗum woni denowo yimɓe ganda ɓe mbaɗat kono ɓe mbaɗira ɗum no jaguiri ni. si neɗɗo noon bo liggo o heɓani hay goto gaynuɗo ɗum a yiyat liggey o wawata hawrir comme no foti ni hawrir kono si ɓe acciti hakkille woodi gonɗo ɓawo to bomin laara nden a yiyatta affaire o fewat ko ɗum woni liggey amen o secrétariat to hande programme o ko addi ɗum ko he liggey amen he bokki pour hol yimɓe ɓene faama ko ɗum woni ko yata ko he leydi he affaire wallugol yimɓe ɓe ganduɗa ɓen tampi e ko ɓen woni juuɗe men keptani ɓaawo ɗum on amen liggey ɗum taki ha min lebdi he QTV pour min keɓa programme ji min noddat programme ji kewɗi hande ko NaNA ari ɗo janggo min addat goɗɗo onne si ari o haalna yimɓe ɓe ko ɗum ɓe gollata kono hande komin kalta ɗo rek ɗum woni cash transfer mo ɓe mbatta o ɗum woni lebbi ɗiɗi kala ɓe yaha dowrito ɓe okkira toon kaali ɓe mbi ko district leyɗele chef uji ko yata leyɗele nogas woni ko bokki ko he ɗum kono ɗen leyɗele ne wona neɗɗo kala heɓata ko ɓe laar ɓe cuɓa ɓe ganduɗa ko ɓen woni ɓurɓe ɓe was he ɗin tunduji ɓe okka ɓen par ce que kalis mo ɓe tami o wona mbo noon heewiri ɗum noon ko wawata fottu yimɓe foof ko mana feejan ɗum feere nde ganduɗa a laarat ɓe ganduɗa ɓen poti heɓ ɓeeɗaɓe ɓen pada ha si goɗɗum ne ari ballal ngal wona ɗi fotira sengo woto ɗo hande ko ɓe woni walleteɓe janggo na wawi ballal arat kulle remoɓe mana ballal arat kulle jangde ma kulle cellal ɗum ɗon foof ko he social protection bokki eyyi ko ɗum woni ko addi min ko ɗo han julde jarama
jarama Ousmane Mr Deme haalno yimɓe wahñu rek sitting hola malla lakkal pul wahñu pulla wahñu rek tey si tenk nit su munoon xam lan mooy nafa programme bi lu tax mu ñëw ak lan moo leen tax a jóg lan la mooy doon
jërëjëf asalaamaaleykum yéen ñi ñoo seetaan tey li ñu fi andi mooy pour waxtaan mbiri nafa programme bi suma mbokk yi ci kaw gi nag soo ne nafa moom dañ laa wax ne ñëpp xam nañ ko nafa mooy njëriñ foog naa ñëpp xam nañ lii njëriñ waaye njëriñ gi nag niñ ko dee defee mooy xaalis lañ dee joxe boolale ko ak jàngale mu am solo nafa bii nag nguuri Gambia ñoo koy doxal waaye ñi ko dépense mooy World Bank nafa bii nag ñaari weer yu nekk daf dee joxe xaalis di joxe $3,000 hangale borom njël yi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo bokk si projet bi ndaxam sax dafa waroon a nekk weer bu nekk $1,700 waaye dépense bi mooy diis sin kaw ak jot du am ñu boolante ko di ko joxe ñaari weer yu nekk da ngaa gis ne ñaari weer yi dina àndale ak jàngale mi li ñoo joxe nafa bi nag mu ngi 20 tundi seef si Gambia bi di seefi tundi Fooñi di tundi Kiyang di tundi Sabax Sanjal di tundi Janjambure boor boobu ba Basse 20 tundi seef yi ñooy 20 yi nga xam ne ñoo gën a ñàkka su ma ñemee woon sax ma ne ñoo gën a ndóol ci Gambia bi li tax ñi leen koo jox mooy digga mënuloo génnee nit si ñàkka daaxa ñàkka completely comme li ñoo wax génnee ko daal waaye mun ngaa génnee nit ci ñàkka ekkati ko tuuti su ko defee su trayalee boppam mu jëm ci kanam lii moo tax xaalis bi ñoo joxe dañ ko àndale ak jànga mi am solo parce que pour daaxa ñàkka jikko ngaay wecci pour wecci jikko foog borom jànga so moo tax jàngale mi ñun moo ñu gën a amal solo sax xaalis bi ñoo joxe lii moo tax am na ñuy jàngal si tund yi yëpp am na ñuy jàngal ci dëkk yi defar nañu ay matériel yi nga xam ne moom la ñoo jëfandikoo di leen jàngal lii moo tax tey suñ ooyee nit ñi sax dajale leen place ñaari weer pour fay leen bala ñoo fay li ñoo njëkk a def mooy dañoo jàngale suñ jàngalee ba pare li ñoo doog a door fay ku am looy laajte nga laajte waaye nag gëstu bi ñi nañu benn tey dinañ wax ne waaye lu xew man bokkuma ci nafa bi ñëpp mënuñ cee bokk buñ sañoon ñëpp bokk waaye liñ am ñi gën a néew doole ñooñ la mun a dimbale te wax nañ ko ci angale ñi nga xam ne ñoo dee gëstu si Gambie bi muy jiboos ñoo defoon gëstu bi laajte nit ñi ñu tontu biñ tontu moo la dugal wala moo la génnee ci projet ndaxam sax biñ tontoo tur yi dañ ko andi woon si dëkk yi wax leen ne tur yi ñii ñoo génn seen dëkk xam nga projet bi mun naa bokk sa tunda waaye xëy na sa dëkk sax kenn génnul dëkk yi sax dañ tane wante nit ñi dañ tane wante waaye projet bi dafa ñëw pour jàppare njël yi soo njël mooy génn waaye du tur yi nit rek comme man biñ andee tur yi ci dëkk bi dañ leen ko jox ñoom ñu jàngal ko seen bopp ne diw ak diw ak diw moo génn ñu may leen ñaari semaine ñu toog ñu waxtaan ñoom yi neen ñu d'accord ñu stamp ko ñu yónnee waat ko ci ñun ñu delluwaat fa defaral leen ID card pour bu ñoo jël see xaalis ñaari weer yu nekk ñu ñëw di jël xaalis waaw lii daal laa la mën a tënkal ne mooy nafa bi
nafa bi si wolof wax ñu tuuti tamit am naa ne am ngeen ay jafe-jafe du ñàkk programme bu mel nii daal foog mu am jafe-jafe lan moo nekk yéen seen jafe-jafe tey
waa Julde xam nga mbiri xaalis moom fu mu dugga rek jafe-jafe dafa am loolu moo tax bala ñoo dugga tamit li ñu leer la comme moom ni mu ko expliqué dañ bugga yoon yiñ jël yëpp mu leer nañ te leer nañ bi nekkul si ñun miy doxal projet bi rek waaye ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo dëkka si gox bi tamit waaye jafe-jafe biñ dee am tamit la suma boss nu mu ko waxee dafa ne nekkuñ di joxe xaalis rek waaye tamit dañ bugg a jàngale léegi-léegi nag jàngale bi nii moo ñu dee jox jafe-jafe bi parce que jàngale bi dañ ne waaw ñëpp mënuñoo am xaalis bi waaye jàngale bi ñëpp nañ ko bokka léegi la ngaa gis ne jafe-jafe buñ dee am moo nekka léegi-léegi si gox yi ñoom dañ dee wane man de jëluma xaalis man duma bokka si jàngale bi soo léegi daf dee nekk li nga xam ne ay jafe-jafe lu bari la dee nekk su ñun parce que tey suñ sañoon tey projet bi ñëw na ñëpp mënuñ see am xaalis ñëpp mënuñoo am xaalis bi wante tamit su ñoo jàngale dañ bëgg a ñëpp ñu bokka ñu jàngale leen parce que jàngale bi xaalis bi doo ko am de waaye yëfi wérgu yaram léegi yëfi lekka bu mut yëfi business boo ko amee si projet bi tamit nga jàng ko ñu jàngal la ko nga mun koo jëfandikoo loolu noonu de foog naa ne lu baax la te mun nañoo yóbbu kanam tamit parce que tey am na ñi nga xam ne nekkuñ di jëfandikoo si projet bi waaye ñu ngi doxal seen business si boppa waaye ku dem pour ñu am knowledge bi noo joxalee seen business bi nekku di dem ni mu war a demee tey suñ ñëwee ñu la ne projet bi daf la bëgg a jàngal te naka ngaa doxalee business bi xam nga loolu noonu tamit beneen yokkute la soo ñun daal léegi-léegi yu bari lii moo dee nekk jafe-jafe yiñ dee am ci doxalin projet bi waaye parce que macha allah projet bi da ngaa gis ne ba lañ ko doon doxal dafa am jéego yu bari yuñ jël jéego yooyu noonu biñ ko jëlee loolu moo ñëw wane liñ dee wax transparency li nga xam ne nubatu amul dañ ko def mu dekk li nga xam ne biñ koo def fiñ ko dooree kombo fii ba mu wàcca si dëkk bi mu war a wàcca ba mu wàcca si ñi war a jëfandikoo xaalis bi dañ ko def yëpp ñi nga xam ne nit yi dara leen demu si lépp a leen reer te tey suñ amoon jafe-jafe biñ ko doon doxal si office bi maanaam liñ doon jàng yiñ doon def yëpp bu jafe-jafe nekkoon foofu noonu daf ñoo def ñu delluwaat waaye macha allah dem nañ ba si kanam ba léegi tey ñu ngi si gox bi ñu ngi def ñu ngi joxe xaalis bi ñu ngi jàngalee tamit waaye daal suñ sañoon moo nekk waa gox bi ñu jàppale ñu ba nga xam ne jàngale bi ñoo jàng nekku ne ñiy jël xaalis bi rek a see jëfandikoo wante tamit ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi dëkk si dëkk boobu nekkuñ di jël xaalis bi ba pare ñu dimbale ñu ne dee jàngal xam nga comme ni mu ko waxee tey jàngal nañ waa dëkk bi waaye bàyyuñ leen dañ dee delluwaat si ñoom te suñ delloowaat si ñoom dañ ñu dee wax lan mooy seen jafe-jafe te léegi yu bari lii moo dee nekk suñ jafe-jafe suñ ootiyee waa gox bi du dee génn si ñëpp ñi dee jël xaalis bi rek a dee génn si exactly so lii moo nekk benn si jafe-jafe yiñ dee am su ko defee moo wax suma mbokk yi ku dem ñu nekk ba suma mbokk ñi nekk Bansang ñi nekk ba Basse ñu maa déglu time bii ni ñu mun a bàyyi xel si lii torop
am na solo
soo tey yokka benn rek si jafe-jafe yi boobu moom su ma koo waxul bëgg naa koo wax mooy si mbiri joxe xaalis bi xam nga ñun waa kaw gi dañ yaatu carte bi ñaari tur rek a fa ne mooy yow waa kër gi yaataan na ne diw ak diw laa bëgg a ñuy jëlee xaalis bi ñu def fa diw ak diw nag mu ngi fóot diw ak diw mu ngi tooga bi si joxe xaalis la de nga jox carte bi keneen ki nga xam ne nekkul si carte bi mu ñëw taxaw ne xaalis bi laa jël si duñ la ko mën a jox foog ñaar ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk ci carte bi kenn si ñoom ñëw su kenn ñëw duñ ko mën a joxe waxoon naa mbiri sim card ñun tey mobile réer na sànni naa sim card bi wala mobile réer na foog nga ne doo mën a jotaat sim card bi demal foo amoon sim card bi nga jëlaat ko parce que soo ko jëlaatu da ñoo joxaat liggéey foog ñu joxaat la beneen sim card li anglais di wax configure ñu defar yëpp mun koo dugalaat pour mun laa feyaat boobu it beneen jafe-jafe la suñu ootee nag ne ñëw leen jël si xaalis nañ ñëw ci waxtu parce que wax nañ la ne dañoo dem fii fay jógee ko fa dem feneen léegoo-léeg ñeneen ñi oote nañ de yow da ngaa bëgg a mujjee doo bëgg a ñëw rang su ko defee soo ñu fa fekku dig ñu sonal foog ñu del si waat fa pour fay oo ñu wax la nga ñëw feneen
waaw time bi daal jaamu nañu ñu ma alaat ne 4 minutes moo des rek so in few seconds nga wax loolu kii mu
dama bëgg xam nga man maa dee faral di dem fooñi te bëgg naa ni nga xam ne ñoo nekk di ñëw fooñi tamit ñu jàppale ñu tey wax nañ ne kii groupe ñoom ñoo dee def si fay bi waaye tey da ngaa gis ne su dee teelu ñëw si biir dëkk bi parce que dañ war a dem si banque bi jógee si banque bi doog a ñëw léegi da ngaa gis ne waa communauté dañ ñoon mere ak yooyu waaye dañ war a xam ne nit ki boo doo mën a fanaanoo xaalis bu bari lii yëpp dañ ko dee expliquer pour ñu understand rek ne waa kiw groupe foog ñu dem jëli xaalis bi banque doog a ñëw si communauté bi lii tam bëgg naa ñu bàyyi ko xel torop waaye tamit nañ di teel a ñëw jàngale banque fa su ñoo jàngale balaa kii seet di ñëw ba si dëkk bi fekk jàngale nañ li ñoo def yëpp ñu def ko
leen bilim dañ bëgg a xaalis so Malang ñu bàyyi rek si tënka rek nga wax ko si kaalaama mandinka su mbokki soosey tam mun a xam lan moo nekk lan lañ nekk di waxtaanee tey.
Ok, abaraka julde comme ɓe min kaca kan wolem nafa cash transfer min ɓe keri aɓe tundol kan banque e santola nanale a ñaton kaya anin itol nila dow kuñol min mo Department of Community Development anin Department of Social Welfare ika wili sabaledi kari fulaw kari fula tundol mi alon ko wolle be chef banko min tata fo chef banko muang banko kan ja wolle be je ka commencé foñila kata santo tata wala nyama fo a koftana basema fa nata kana fo sabak sanjal not banko na sabak sanjal dam male bije e ka wo cash transfer minke wo fana ning karandiro le kata nyola karandiro anatale pour ka mol miranya ani jikol faling kodo dundi dokundri nyakam bawo ne wili sabadila ha ise kodo tano le ya domo wolem wala tinanga dila pour ila balwo nyin isa ay sonia bare fane ka lafi minnam wolem hannata dalasi kemelem yow bondije yow dundi kuto mi yalan ko asetaranoje bawo nyin cash transfer ate tarlaje fo faw na banta at least ni arta ko yefen invest je wala mi yefen ta ya dundi business o kono wala kuto mi yalan ko sama sini abe tarleje ni cash transfer banta ise murno wakam bar ni arta ko mengo men nata ka domo den ibaje la na banta e benunda mi be murla wala to so wala na karandiro nyin ikake fanan ko di diwo nyin na nata fanan amanke mobile ka soto momo mi yalon ko ataw to fintita je janding e to be fintila je a jarta sartol le kan wo sarto to afolota daming aka bonan dulal to mi yalon ko ka fole National Social Protection Secretariat ila Social Registry to na buta woto ay ta nana wal fanan ba sambala satel le to ka foy ko nyintol le fintita laftale aliya jibe fo toñalem ñinul le molti mi yalan ko itolle foire ata ka tambi mol beti ni ata wolem den isaje ko na murtanan den ni yadira isata e joro ke
kodo nyinjo baraka bake Malang Jawo wolem communication officer ti National Social Protection Secretariat and of course ngamen soto jam folang wolem janki Jawarati wolem communication senior program officer at NaNA, and of course we have Usman Dem, who is the program manager of course at NaNA as well. Viewers, thank you very much. That's all we have for you on this edition of National Secretariat National Protection courtesy of the National Social Protection Secretariat. Until we come your way next time, bye bye and do have a pleasant night.